information about the investigation and death of a former Springfield principal. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Matt Templeman.
And I'm Renee McCullough. Late this afternoon, Springfield police told us that Michael Fisher was under investigation for sexual misconduct with children when he committed suicide yesterday. We do have team coverage tonight. KEZI 9 News reporter Jessica Babb will show us how the district is handling Fisher's death.
But first, KEZI 9 News anchor Bob Shaper joins us live in the studio with the very latest breaking details in this investigation. Bob.
Yeah, Matt and Renee, this case gets more tragic every day. Police say this all started Wednesday morning when a former A3 student contacted school officials and said she'd been victimized by Fisher on school property over a period of years. The school called the police, and Fisher was told about the allegations on the very same day. According to Lieutenant Scott McKee, Fisher then went to a pawn store and tried to buy a gun. By sheer coincidence, the clerk at the store was a former student. Now, Fisher didn't get a gun at that store, but he did buy a .38 caliber revolver at another gun shop in Springfield. By then, word had gotten back to the district that Fisher was trying to buy a gun, and they put the school on lockdown. At that point, police went to Fisher's home and asked him why he wanted a gun. He told them it was for self-defense because he was under suspicion. The police asked him to voluntarily give up the pistol, which he did. But yesterday, after being placed on administrative leave, he was found dead in his garage after hanging himself.
We fear that there are other students, yes, absolutely, especially given Mr. Fisher's response to the revelation that there was an investigation going on focused upon him. So, yeah, we're very concerned that there may be other victims.
Now, Fisher, who was 55, has a long history in the community. He taught fine arts and drama at Thurston for years before he became the A3 director. Police say even though Fisher is now deceased, the investigation continues. They're very worried that potential victims may not bother to report crimes because he is dead. Live in the studio, Bob Shaper, KZI 9 News.
All right, thank you, Bob. Now, meantime, the Springfield School District is responding to Fisher's death by providing grief counseling to students and staff. KEZI 9 News reporter Jessica Babb continues our team coverage.
Sherry Childers, a special education facilitator in Springfield, provides crisis response support. She says it's important students feel supported and have someone they can talk to. That's why she says the district brought in outside school psychologists and counselors to meet with students, helping them through their grief. Childers says students are responding to the incident in different ways, some with raw emotion and others with no response. She says any response is okay as long as students have a safe place to process what happened.
We just want them to know that they need to find a supportive person in their life that they can talk to about this, and if they need more resources than they have, they can come to the school and we can provide resources. We have support there, and we will continue to have support as long as they need it.
Childers says only a few students have come to speak with the counselors, and others have come to gather with friends and teachers. School officials say they will provide resources to support students and staff as long as they are needed.
I just think the most important part of having support for students and staff at school is for them to know that they don't have to walk through this by themselves, that there are other people around who care, and that there are other resources out there if they need more intensive supports than what we can provide as well.
Childers says there are community resources for other individuals who are affected. The Suicide Prevention Lifeline suggests finding a support group, writing, or asking for help if you are struggling with suicide loss.
That's Jessica Babb reporting. District officials say they are focused on providing immediate support to students and staff so they can see what the school needs to make a long-term plan.
YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again, hit you with a video. Now this video right here comes straight out of Springfield, Oregon. Let me make sure if that's Oregon. Yes, Oregon. Well, we have a former principal who was accused for sexual misconduct for years, and all of a sudden one day before one of the students was ready to fully expose them, he winds up dead. You know, so that's a very unusual circumstance considering that this was a professional man. But at the same time, a lot of these people in these positions have a lot of skeletons in their closet also. And a lot of people are speculating, did he commit suicide, or was it some retaliation from somebody, parent, you know, of a child that he abused in the past? We don't know. That's still up for grabs as the story goes. But when more unfolds from the story, I will give you an update. But what I'm going to do right now is read a snippet from this story, and I will give my opinion, surely, as we go. Springfield A3 principal accused of sexual misconduct over many years hangs self. Yes, hangs himself. Michael Fisher, A3 principal, suicide. A Springfield, Oregon principal is found dead one day after a former minor student accuses the educator of ongoing sexual misconduct. Oregon school principal Michael Fisher, 55 years old, has been found dead of an apparent suicide, one day after the charter school educator was accused of ongoing sexual misconduct with a former minor student. Cops say the much beloved and revered principal was found dead in the garage of his Springfield home on Thursday, a day after having been placed on administrative leave. Now, the case of the death was given as Fisher having hung himself. That's what they try to say. They try to say he hung himself in his garage. At the time of his death, KEZI reported Fisher being the director of the Academy of Arts and Academics, otherwise known as A3. And for those of you who are from the area, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A day prior to Michael Fisher's suicide death, authorities had been called to the school following a female student saying she had allegedly been victimized by Fisher on school property over a period of years. Now, according to Lieutenant Scott McKee with the Springfield Police Department, Fisher left the school and went to a nearby pawn shop to purchase a gun. I guess he like the hell with this shit about to go down. I'm finna go and take myself up out of here before they take me out in the penitentiary. Now, the clerk at the pawn shop was a former student and told a friend who then contacted the school. Academy of Arts and Academics was then placed on lockdown, reported the Register Guard. Police said Fisher left the pawn shop and went to another store to buy a .38 caliber revolver. Officers went to Fisher's home and asked why he had bought the gun, and he reportedly said he needed it for self-defense. He was under investigation for misconduct. Police asked Fisher to voluntarily give up the weapon, which he did. The following day, around 4 p.m. Thursday, Fisher reported her husband hanging himself in the garage. Now, why Michael Fisher, A3 principal, committed suicide? But if he was innocent, why did he kill himself? That's a very good question. Now, according to KCBY, the school is on a scheduled break but opened its doors for a few hours on Friday, so students, staff, and parents could come together and grieve with the assistance of professional grief counselors. Posted the school in a statement on Facebook. An event like this only reaffirms how important it is to support each other and lean into our own community. We are our strongest support system, and together we have the tools we need to get through this. At this time, we only know as much as you, and for now, we must be okay with not having all the answers. To that end, we encourage you to be thoughtful about how you could process this news, as so many details are still not confirmed or publicly released. We know that no one deserves to spread hurtful rumors, and if the information indeed proves correct, we want to be respectful of how that impacts individuals in our A3 community. Very nice speech, huh? Now, the claim of sexual misconduct, according to AP, came after a former female student who is now an adult and lives out of state decided to come forward. It wasn't immediately clear why the alleged female victim hadn't come forward in previous years. You know, and a lot of people say, well, that's victim shaming when you say they should have did this, or, you know, it takes certain times for people to heal and get over certain things. I understand. I'm not questioning none of that because, you know, different strokes for different folks. Now, it wasn't immediately clear why the alleged victim hadn't come forward in all these years that has went by. Police feared there are more victims, given Mr. Fisher's response to the revelations that there was an investigation going on focused on him. So he got word back that they had an investigation going on under him and that, you know, he was under surveillance and they was watching him, basically building a case on him. Now, with Lieutenant Scott McKee saying he fears those potential victims won't come forward because of Fisher's suicide. If that's the case, what good is it going to do now? The man done killed himself or somebody else and killed him, you know, so what good is it going to do now? I mean, they can share their story, you know, if they need to release that anger and that anguish and all that's built inside of them, bottled up over the years of this man allegedly abusing them. True, they might need to air it out or talk to somebody or just have their own platform to share how they feel, you know. Now, Fisher had been with the Springfield School District since 1999 and helped create the Academy of Arts and Academics in 2006. He served as principal ever since the school opened. In the days after Fisher's suicide death, some commentators questioned why the educator had taken his own life. if he was indeed innocent. That's a good statement right there. Very true. And having, over the course of many years, never prompted an investigation into alleged deeds, because the investigation into the alleged deeds was kept a secret. And if it's a secret, how would you know? Until somebody spilled the beans, as the female did. Now, others, meanwhile, counter, given the current climate in the USA, the mere mention accusation, whether proven or not, can be enough to instill public scrutiny and imperils one's career. And that's true. That's just like with the Bill Cosby situation. You got all these women saying Bill did it. You got all these people saying it's for this reason. You got all these people saying it for that reason. You know, and whether he's guilty or not, in the eyes of the public, he's still guilty because you already put it out there. Just like the girl who accused the football player of raping her. Come to find out, the guy never did it, and she admitted she lied. But guess what? You done already ruined that man's career. The man already got fired and everything, lost his job, his pension, and everything. So you do hurt people when you put this charges on them. Now, if the charge is true, I'm behind you 100%. But you know, just because somebody might have rubbed you the wrong way, and I don't mean physically touch you, I mean said something to you, or you know, didn't want to be with you or date you, you don't have no right to throw a charge on that person if they did not violate you in any kind of way. But at the same time, when you a principal and you at these schools and you dealing with minors, it's totally a different situation. You know, that's, you have to look more into that situation, if you will. Now, I don't know what went on because I don't know Mr. Fisher, but at the same time, I don't understand why would a person kill themselves if you're innocent. Usually the people that's the guilty ones would kill themselves, if you will. So let me know what you all think. Now, one last thing. Authorities say the investigation into the sexual misconduct allegations will continue. I guess they just want to, you know, go ahead and proceed with the case, which, I mean, it's not going to really matter because the man's not here anyway to get sentenced, convicted, or anything. So let me know what you all think about this situation right here. And also, you know, if you're innocent, you don't have anything to hide. But yet and still, you have to realize the climate of the country that we live in also, where you have women coming out left and right with the Me Too movements. Basically, anything and anybody that they feel that they can get, they're going to get. And sometimes these guys do be guilty. And a lot of times I feel, this is my opinion now, I feel like some of these guys be innocent because some of these stories just be so flip-flop, so wishy-washy. But at the same time, when you have a movement like that, it's like a machine. It's hard to stop it, you know. So whether somebody say you're innocent or guilty or not, once they put it out there, you know, just like they can say a lot of stuff about me if they want to, which they can't, because I ain't got to do that to nobody. But just like, for instance, if they wanted to, it'd be a lot of people saying, well, Trey know the lead show, he's this and he's that. And then years later down the line, you know what I'm saying, if I'm blessed enough, the truth come out, well, he was innocent the whole time, but it don't matter because the damage done. Let me know what you all think about this video. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like, subscribe. Definitely share the video. Till next time, y'all stay blessed. I'm out.